Hey Garrett. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hi Stephanie, how are you? I'll just wait for a couple people to hop in and I'll add you, Garrett. Hope everyone's doing amazing and staying safe. It's so good to be back. And my next guest, his name is Garrett Biggs. He's a Nashville-based country singer-songwriter, and he's amazing, guys. His latest single comes out. Small Town is out now, so make sure to check it out. It's available on all streaming platforms. And while you're there, make sure to follow his artist page so that whenever he releases new music, you're the first one to get notified, and it's already added to your release radar so that you don't miss out. And we'll just get started. Hey Jeff. Hey Garrett.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Good. We're doing good. We're actually packing up right now, heading on vacation tomorrow morning. So this is good way to end the week right here with a little chit chat. Thanks for
That is
having me.
amazing. Of course. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. And firstly, welcome to India before I forget that.
Hey, thank you. Feels good. Feels good. Yeah, I think what you're doing over there is great. And again, I appreciate you letting me be a part of it. This is cool.
Thank you so much. And of course, I think we've been planning this for a while, so it's amazing to finally have a chat with you.
Hey, likewise. Yeah, it's definitely been a long time coming, but I'm glad it finally worked out 100%.
Yeah, and before we get into your music and all that good stuff, would you want to give, for people tuning in from here, a little backstory of where you came from and all that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, my name's Garrett Biggs. I grew up in a little small town in Illinois by the name of Casey, and there's not much there, but a bunch of good people and corn. So, very typical small town Midwest upbringing, and started playing. My dad played music, and that's how I got into it. So music's always been in the house, always been doing that, and started learning guitar young, and I, like every
Wow.
other kid, would drop it, would pick it back up. I was a skateboarder for a little bit. I wanted to be a
Wow.
weatherman for a little bit. So, but
That's amazing.
yeah, but music was just always around, and about middle school is when I started playing the acoustic. I was playing electric at that time, up to that point, and started writing songs and playing shows, and just got hooked. Honestly, I mean, just started doing it, and moved to Nashville a few years ago, and just been on the road touring and releasing songs since. So it's been crazy and a lot of fun.
That's amazing. I mean, I'm a huge fan of your music, but when you moved to Nashville, like, how was the transition, like, to come from a town like Casey to a city like Nashville? Was it difficult?
You know, you know, it really wasn't too bad. It really wasn't too bad. It was a culture shock, just because, like, where I'm from, we don't have rush hour. I mean, the rush hours are in the summertime, or when planting or harvest is going on, and the tractors and semis are going through town. Like, seriously. And
Mm-hmm.
but you know what? It's been difficult in some ways. I'm a homebody. I love small town Illinois and just small towns, so I do miss that vibe. But the people down here are great. The music community is just insane, and it really does feel like a small town in its own way. So if I had to live anywhere else, it would definitely be here for sure.
Me too. I'd
Yeah.
move to Nashville in a heartbeat.
Hey, come on over. We'd love to have you.
I so wish I could. I would hop on a plane right now if I could. But
Yeah,
we're all in lockdown, so
it's a fun place, you know, it really is. There's always something. I tell you what the biggest difference was, you know, where I'm from,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing to do. There's just nothing to do. And you make your own fun. Well, around here it's the opposite. I have a hard time making my own fun because there's so much stuff to do. I got to go catch, you know, or at least try to catch. So,
True.
yep.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And when it comes to country music, like, was that something you grew up on, or how did you choose country to be your main genre?
Yeah, so honestly, I grew up on classic rock. My dad had a bunch of classic rock. He had a bunch of country too. But when you know we were listening to music when we went
Mm-hmm.
camping or when he was teaching me new songs, it was always rock and roll music. You know, like I was listening to Def Leppard, Boston, Journey, Bread, AC/DC, just those kind of guys. Clapton, you know, a lot of blues. We love the blues. Um, and but you know, I had listened to some of the country records and I enjoyed them. But it wasn't until about middle school I've stumbled upon Jason Aldean, and then I was sold because it was like the rock, it was the country, and I was looking
Country.
around me. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's singing about like me and where I'm from. So like that, and then I started diving into country and went back even to Waylon and Merle and Hank Sr. and in the roots of country, and and that was very transformational. So like country music kind of came after rock, but now it's like just this weird blend. I gotta have them both in my life, or I'm not happy, you know.
That is so true. I can definitely see the rock influences in your music. That's amazing.
Yeah, we definitely like to rock it up for sure, especially in the live show. We like to rock that up pretty hard.
I'm sure. I'm sure. And when it comes to your original music, let's talk about your latest one. Comes out Small Town. With it's such a jam. Like I was listening to it all day.
I love
Can
that.
you
Thank
like
you.
can you like walk us through the whole process, how that song came about and all that good stuff?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, as far as writing it, you know, we had to write books. I had to write books. It was me, Joy Beth Taylor, Wesley Davis, and Drake Freeman. Three other amazing talents in town. Love them to death. Me and Joy Beth were actually living together at the time in the
Oh
same
wow.
house. So Drake and Wesley came over. It was a nice, really nice sunny day, beautiful day, and we were just all in a good mood, you know, like, and we just wanted to write something that was happy, upbeat. Sun rose around the corner, and I'm like, you know, I would love to get something just kind of bouncier, just a little more lighthearted,
Uh-huh.
if you will.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, they're incredible writers, and that song's what came out of it. I like writing about my hometown. I'm proud of where I'm from. It's who I am, and I just feel like that song really kind of encompassed that vibe. Told a fun story at the same time about this guy breaking up a fight, and then he's drunk, you know, spilling his pickup lines, and somehow he walks away with the girl's number, and you know he's just saying, "Hey, comes out small towns where it's where I'm from. We this is what we do," you know. So that's I guess that's kind of how it came to be. We recorded it with Colt Caparoon, and he nailed it
Mm-hmm.
per usual. And the support's just been great, and I'm glad you guys are liking it. And I look forward to getting out on the road and playing it live for the first time next weekend. That's gonna be awesome.
Wow, that's amazing. That's awesome. That's awesome. And would you want to play that song for us?
Yeah, we could do that. We could do that for sure.
Let's hear it.
We could definitely do that.
Hey, everybody tuning in. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in.
Let me tune this up. This thing's been all over Nashville recently. I wrote this song myself. Alrighty. Yeah, everybody. I hope you guys like this next song. It's we put this one out not long ago. We're actually about to drop a lyric video for this one here, maybe within the next week or so. So anytime
Awesome.
within that time. So go follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Follow along. Check this one out. It's called.
I'm already doing that.
I love it. This is called "Comes Out Small Town." I hope you guys like it. Downtown Broadway bar crowd lost in the glow of the neon lights, breaking up a fight with a guy and a guy about a girl taking wrong and turning them right. One bad case of spilled cold beer, it ain't gonna ruin this good time here. Where I'm from, it's what I do. Can't shake old dirt off of my new boots. Rolls with me wherever I go. The way I was raised, only way I know is a hanky, cranky, living on a tap on top of bottles, holding your chug when you get down, if you get down. It always comes out small town. That girl, that bar stool, I ain't damn fool, draw falling out of my mouth. By the end of the night, I wasn't thinking twice about the lines I was throwing out. I'm writing that number down. Where I'm from, it's what I do. Can't shake no dirt off of my new boots. Rolls with me wherever I go. The way I was raised, only way I know is a hanky, cranky, living on a tap top of bottles, won't you chug when you get down, if you get down. It always comes out of small town, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. We're gonna hanky, cranky, living on up. We're gonna hanky, cranky, living on up. We're gonna hanky, cranky, living on up. We're gonna hanky, cranky. Here we go. Where I'm from, it's what I do. Can't shake no dirt off of my new boots. Rolls with me wherever I go. The way I was raised, only way I know is the hanky, cranky, living on up. Tap the top of bottles, hold the chug when you get down, if you get down. It always comes out small town. There we go.
Yay! You sound incredible. I think everybody's loving the line "Hanky Crank It."
I love it. I love it. I'm glad you guys like it. I was trying to kind of look at the comments and see what everybody was saying, but
I loved it. I loved it.
that's awesome. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
is this your first time playing in India?
Oh yeah, first time, 100%, 100%. So this is one for the memory book up here.
One for me too. Thank you so much for that. And I also want to talk to you about Mamas Didn't Raise No, because that is such a well-written song. Like if you concentrate on the lyrics, it's such a simple song, but yet it gives you that, you know, what you're trying to convey. So can you like walk us through the whole process of that song as well?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I'll preface this with like, you know, I feel like life moves in steps. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to thank everybody tuning in. I'm seeing some familiar names up in here, and just thank you guys for supporting this song, because it's been a really fun journey for where I'm at in my career, and I consider it a big blessing. So thank you for that. And but as far as the song, how it came to be, it's pretty crazy, really, to me. And we were out at a bar one night. It was me and a whole bunch of buddies, and it was an incredible round. It was a Tin Roof Revival, a huge lineup. I know Luke Combs was in the house, Hunter Hayes,
Wow.
guys, and there's just Rob Snyder got up and played. It's just a great lineup of great talent all the way around, and just the bar was packed. But it was very, very inspiring. Very inspiring. So me and the guys, it was me, Ethan Willis, Joseph Melashevsky, and Matthew McSwain who wrote that song. And I just remember them saying, "You guys want to go back to the house and write?" And I'm thinking, hell, it's midnight right now, but sure, let's go. And so we went out to their house, and Ethan had thrown out that idea and a couple other writes in the past, and
Mm-hmm.
it's what we landed on, and we wrapped it up about 3 a.m. And it was really cool for me because, you know, me and my mom didn't get along the best growing up. We have a fantastic relationship now. It took me getting older and me moving away and think life to
Mm-hmm.
happen. But for me, it has been a stamp on those years of just bickering, you know, and it's kind of opened the door to the back half of all that, you know, the good. Now we're on to the better memories, if you will. And so it's been really cool for that, and people have kind of seen that story, and also, like, you know, we didn't get along, but my mom has always been there. She's always been a big
Mm-hmm.
supporter and a fan, and we've always had love in the house, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
um but yeah, no, that's kind of how it came to be. Again, Colt Caparoon produced it, and just feel very blessed that Ethan and Joey and Matthew let me cut that song, because it's been incredible. It's been great. So love it, love it. Thank you guys for
That's
supporting.
that's an awesome song. And did he come up with that song on spot? Like when you guys decided to do a session, did he come up with it on spot?
He, you know, again, I think he had thrown that out. I think he'd actually thrown it out to me in a couple of rides before, and we just passed
Mm-hmm.
on it. We knew we wanted to ride it, but
Mm-hmm.
we knew that there was just going to be a specific way that it was going to
Mm-hmm.
work, you know, to do it without actually finishing out the statement. And I don't know, it just worked. It just worked that night, and I think it's one of those. Joy Beth Taylor, an awesome writer in town, an artist, she's always told me that you can only create through the creator. And that's one thing that
Mm-hmm.
I've latched onto, because that's kind of how it was. I just think he looked down in the room and said, this is the song. Here you go." And so that's what came out of it that night, you know. So
That is awesome. That's amazing. And I also saw you have a video out for that song.
what's that now?
You also have a video out for that song?
Oh yeah, well that's been the other cool thing is, if you go to YouTube, there's a music video that we put out with it, and that just hit 1 million views. So thank you everybody for that as well.
Wow.
I never thought that would happen, but again, a very big blessing, and hoping to do a couple other cool things with that tune. I don't think we're done with it yet. We got a bunch of other stuff going on, but I'm hoping to kind of keep putting out new content with that song as well. So something to look forward to, you know.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'll be on a lookout.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, and when it comes to future releases, like what do you have planned? What can we
Yes,
expect with future releases?
for sure, for sure. We have a new song that we are going to be putting out, probably, I'm going to say sometime in June, if I was to guess,
Mm-hmm.
early July.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Cheers to the Beers. It's going to have my buddy Cody Bradley and Cooper Allen on it as well, which super excited about that. They helped write it, so it's going to be cool to have them on the master as well. Um, Music videos are coming out. We're working on more band shows, a band tour, and
Mm-hmm.
working on an EP this fall maybe. So just trying to get out as much content as we can, and just trying to make it a fun year all the way around, coming off of
Mm-hmm.
last year. You know, we just want to make it fun. That's our goal.
True.
Fun and make some
True.
memories.
I mean, I'm all in. So whenever you release something, I'll be the first to know. So I can't wait for that. And
Awesome.
I also want to talk to you a little bit about your songwriting journey because it's different for each artist, and I love learning about that. So was there like a defining moment where you took songwriting seriously? Like, do you remember that moment?
You know, yeah, there is. And you know, I started playing shows first. So like I was
Mm-hmm.
playing
Mm-hmm.
cover sets before I
Mm-hmm.
ever wrote a song. And I remember a trip in particular. Me and my dad, I was sitting in typing class, computer class one day in high school, and I was so bored out of my mind. So I went. I can't remember how I did it, but I got on the Voices website and I just signed up. I signed up to go to Nashville. I texted Dad. I said, "Hey, I signed up to go to Nashville, so I hope this is cool because they actually accepted it." and
Wow.
and so we went to Nashville and did the prelim stuff and came home. It was a great
Uh-huh.
experience. But that was my first time in Nashville, and I just remember Dad. It was snowing real bad on the way home, and Dad started telling me about his old touring days and everything. And he started telling me about songwriting and the basics of what he knew about how that worked. And I would say that conversation on the way back was the one where I was like, because he pretty much said, "Hey, you like." I know you love doing this, all this, but if you're gonna want to do this as a career, like you're telling me, you're gonna have to start
Mm-hmm.
writing songs. And he's pretty much saying, "Hey, it's better you start doing it now than later. There's no reason you
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't." And so I went home, and like a week and a half later, I wrote this song called "Old Blue" that was inspired by my freshman year of high school football, which is the only year I played. And that just kind of started a tumbleweed, and moved to town, and now we try and write as much as we can. Been blessed to have a couple other artists cut some songs that we've wrote. So it's just been cool. It's just been really cool. But I would say that was the defining moment of I want to write songs. I want to play shows and I want to write songs for the rest of my life, because it was just, it was so cool experiencing taking nothing and making at the very least something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be a hit song every time, but it'll be something that you're like, you know what? I got something to show for this day's work.
That's amazing. And have you ever written with your dad?
I have asked and asked him to write, and I don't know why he won't, but I think he might be a little chicken shit. But someday, I think he's starting to come around a little bit, and which I would love.
Mm-hmm.
I've wanted to write a song with him for years. I know
Uh-huh.
he's wrote songs himself back when he was my age. He had them on cassettes, and I've listened to a couple of them back whenever I was little. So I know he's done it. I need to get him a couple beers, couple whiskey, get him a little whiskeyed up, and say, "Hey, I got this idea. Let's write it and see what happens."
That'd be awesome. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'm hoping to someday, 100%.
And what's your process when you write a song? Like, do you write it on a track or do you come up with the track later? What's your process?
Yeah, sorry about that. I got a phone call in the middle,
That's
but
okay.
yeah, no. So really, my kind of thing, it's all different. Sometimes someone will come in
Mm-hmm.
and they'll be humming something. Um, I would say majority for me, it's finding that different idea kind of off the bat. Like I want something that
Mm-hmm.
draws me in with a title that I just think can go a bunch of different ways. Um, but honestly, there's no written formula. I think sometimes we'll write with the track, sometimes we'll start with the chorus. I've written multiple songs backwards from the last chorus,
Wow.
bridge, chorus, second. Like I wrote them
Oh my God.
all sorts of different ways. But I would say generally it's just coming in. You got another person or two in the room with you, throwing out some ideas, and you can just kind of feel it when you're like, okay, that one I think's something we could do today, and you just roll with it, and you just start.
Mm-hmm.
I call it, you're throwing mud at the wall, spaghetti at the wall, and you're just seeing what sticks. And
True.
once one sticks, you can mold that a little bit, and then start throwing again. And
That's amazing. That
that's
that
that's
is
kind of how
so
I go
amazing.
about it, at least. I don't know if that's the right way or the Nashville way, but that's how I do it.
I don't think there's a right way to songwriting because everybody's process that I've spoken to is so different. So I don't think there's a right way to, a process.
I completely agree, but I think that's what's so cool about it too is,
Mm-hmm.
and one thing that I personally I feel have learned in the last year or so is, country music has its formulas, but at the same time, you can't get your brain so boxed into that formula that you forget it's music. And like my band hates me because I'll bring in new songs and like it'll have just weird hits, weird, like it just doesn't make sense. And I didn't think anything of it, you know, but they start breaking it down to like how it works. I'm like, oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's pretty weird, you know, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, we'll work it out and we'll get it and we'll look at each other and be like, you know, that's music. That weird stuff that doesn't make any sense. That's what's music to me. You know, I like it whenever I'm not expecting a hit and it catches me off beat.
True.
You know, I'm like, oh
That's true.
shoot, they got me. So
That's so true. That's amazing. And are you more of a lyrical guy or a melody guy? Like, what comes easier for you?
I would say I'm more lyrics. If I
Mm-hmm.
was to be honest, I think um, there's definitely writers out there that are more melodic than I am, and I try and take notes from them in the writing room. But no, I would definitely say I'm more of the lyric story guy in the room.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And talking about co-writes, like when you go into a co-writing session, like what's your process? Do you have a plan in mind, a set of people you want to write that song with? Like what's your process when you go into a co-write session?
Yeah, again, it's different. Like I texted my buddy Adam Warner the other day, and
Mm-hmm.
because I had gotten an idea from a post that he'd made, and so it's like
Mm-hmm.
at that point, it's like, hey, there's nobody else that I'm gonna write this with. Like, do you want to write it? And so that'll happen. And then honestly, a lot of the times, you know, you have your write scheduled advance and ahead of time, and they're friends of yours and you get along. Sometimes they're new, but everyone's super chill. And you just go in there and you find what's in the air. It's kind of what I call it. I think every room has a story to tell, and I think that
Mm-hmm.
it's sitting there. And some days you find it, some days you get close, and sometimes you don't even get anything wrote down. You
True.
know, I
True.
mean, you're searching for invisible stuff. You know, but I think a lot of time you just go in there with your friends and and you make music. That's what's so fun about it. You go in there and it might be something you end up cutting, or it might be something that's perfect for another friend of yours, but you're all working on the same team at the end of the day. So
That's amazing. That's amazing. And my follow-up question, like you mentioned, like you called up this guy and you said, I wouldn't want to write it with anyone else. So how do you choose your perfect co-writer, like for that particular song? Like how do you know this person is right for this song?
yeah, well, again, I mean, in that case, the idea came from him, and it's a personal
Mm-hmm.
thing for him. So it's like
Okay.
I don't know. It's just kind of like I want that to be a part of him, you know, and
You just know.
yeah, again, it really in my head, it's like, hey, it's your idea. I don't know if you noticed it or not, but
Mhm.
it's your idea. So let's write it if you want, you know, and but yeah, and then other times like there's artists that'll have a certain vibe or writers. Like I know for me, like I lean towards the rock thing. So whereas like
Mm-hmm.
I'll write with other people that are more traditional honky tonk writers, and I love writing
Wow.
that stuff. So like I'll kind of save some of those traditional honky tonk ideas for them, you know, because like you don't want to take a traditional. And I mean, writers in Nashville, this is what never ceases to amaze me. They're so versatile; they can write anything,
True.
you know, or at least get on board with it to whatever. Um, but you know, it's like I'll take the traditional country ideas to the best traditional country writers. I believe, and
Mm-hmm.
vice versa with the pop country, rock country, and I think that's kind of what everyone does too. Is um, and but you'll pull each other in too, so you're kind of getting some cross references going on.
True.
You'll bring a
True.
track guy in on a traditional country song, and now
Mm-hmm.
it's got a cool vibe. So I think that's what's really cool about Nashville right now too. Is I mean, everyone's just working together and searching down the common goal of a great song. And I think that's what makes Nashville is it's still all about the song at the end of the day.
True. That's
So
so true. That's amazing. That's awesome. And when there are like more than one artist in a co-write, like I know you write with Cooper Allen and Clayton Shea, so
Oh yeah.
there are fellow artists as well. So how do you guys decide that who gets to cut the song? How do you guys do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I mean, it's kind of a first come first served basis, you know. I mean, I have left. Well, our next song coming out is called "Cheers to the Beers." I was telling you about with Cody,
Mm-hmm.
and I told
Mm-hmm.
them before I left that ride, I said I'm gonna cut this song. I'll let you know. I texted them the next day. I said I'm cutting it. We're getting in the studio next week. So you kind of just know,
Wow.
and like, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been times where there's been both artists are kind of wanting the song. You
Uh-huh.
know, I've been in that position.
Uh-huh.
And it can be kind of weird, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, who does it fit more? Who's gonna give the song the most justice? And I think that's what's so cool about Nashville is like, as long as the song, whatever's best for that, as long as it gets done, I'm cool. You know, because you put all this time in, and it's not about you or the other person. It's about the song, what you created, who's going to be enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you always
True.
just got to keep that perspective, and the rest will work itself out. It will.
That's
Just go
amazing.
grab a beer and talk it out, and you'll be good.
That's amazing. And how do you guys come up with the name for a song? Like, have you ever disagreed on a particular name for a song or anything like that?
Yeah, well, I mean, generally, I mean, we all have ideas in our pockets that we take to rights and
Uh-huh.
titles, things like that. But yes, I mean, it's happened sometimes. You know, one person's thinking this will be catchier, the other's thinking this will get clicked on more, and I mean, it's just
Uh-huh.
kind of you just got to come to an agreement. It's nothing. It's not World War III or anything like that. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, hell, if we're going on for more than 3 minutes about it, I'm like, hell, I don't care. Just put that sounds fine. Six in one hand, that dozen in the other. You know,
Uh-huh.
but
That's amazing. That's awesome. Okay, so out of all the songs that you have out, which was the hardest to write?
oh wow, that's a good question. Uh, let's see, what all do we have out now? Um, honestly, probably this song called 3 Minutes at a Time. I wrote with my buddy Shane Lunsford, and I had not even moved to Nashville at this time,
Mm-hmm.
and he's still up in Indiana. But he came over. He lived about an hour and a half away. He drove over to Illinois, came over to my house, and we started writing this song. I can't remember. It's been so long now. I can't remember who had the idea, who had what. But I remember the first verse wrote itself like butter. I mean, it was just
Mm-hmm.
boom, done. 15, 20 minutes, done. And we were digging it. And then the chorus came around, and I remember we hit a wall somewhere in there. We went outside. We started writing in the studio. We went outside. The fair was going on 7 minutes down the road, so we went to the fair, got some dinner, watched some. I think tractor pulls was going on or something. Watched the pulls. Went back home. Still couldn't get it wrote, and then somewhere in there it just started working, and we finished the song that night. But it was a good
Damn.
six. I want to say it's probably a 6 or 7 hour ride. It was a long one.
Wow.
It was a long one.
Wow.
But
Was
it's
it like a single day write?
what's that now?
Was it like a single day write? Did you guys take just one day to finish that song?
Yeah, we did. I think we started probably at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and probably I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, 3, 4, 5 something, and probably wrapped at like 7, 8, or 9 somewhere. And I can't remember anymore. But I remember he left, and it was dark outside in the middle of summer. So I mean, it had to be
Damn.
probably at least 9.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. That's so cool to know.
Shout out
Now
to Shane
I'm going to think
Lunsford.
about the
He
story when
was
I listen to that song next.
go do it. Yeah, shout out to Shane because he was. I mean, he lived an hour and a half away, and he was all about the
Mhm.
song that night. He wanted to get that song done, and we did. And it just goes to show, you know, sometimes. I mean, we've written songs in 20, 30 minutes. Like "Cheers to the Beers," I think that was an hour, right? Which doesn't happen all the time. And sometimes it takes 8 hours to get the song where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's just again, sometimes the creator he makes you work for it a little bit. Sometimes he'll throw you a
True.
bone and say, "Damn, go get some rest. You need it."
That's so true. And can you walk us through your recording process? Like when you go into the studio, like where's your head at and how do you, track the song? Can you give us like a little insight to the recording process?
Absolutely, yeah. So I've done all my stuff with Colt Caparoon up to this point,
Mm-hmm.
despite one song called "Then Came a Girl," and
Mm-hmm.
and no, it's awesome. It's awesome. So basically, in a real quick rundown, we go in and record what we call scratch takes, which
Mm-hmm.
is a simple guitar vocal with the click track. And then we go out to Lester Stell's house, one of the best drummers in town. He's an absolute beast. And he lays down drums. Usually takes him 2 or 3 takes, and we're heading home. It takes me longer to drive out there than it does
Wow.
for him to take the do the take. And after that, it's just up to me and Colt to correspond, and we kind of move on to retracking the acoustics. We'll get
Mm-hmm.
electrics tracked as well, get those tight, and bass, guitar. Generally, at that point, we'll lay down vocals and decide what else we need. Generally we'll do what we call an ash acoustic, which is kind of a higher toned acoustic guitar
Mm-hmm.
and steel guitar, things like that. And really, you throw all that together. That's kind of the quick rundown of it. You throw all that together and you get it done, and Colt mixes it and masters it, and that's what you hear. And that's pretty much how we record songs right there.
That's amazing. Like on an average, how many days does it take for you guys to record one single track?
Honestly, it just depends on release timelines. How far out ahead of it are you like? I
Mm-hmm.
remember America's Heart, my song America's Heart. That was
Mm-hmm.
that was a rush process because
Okay.
we did a deal with Rural King on that song, and it should be coming out on an advertisement with them sometime. I don't know when, um, but that was quick. Like me and Joy Beth Taylor wrote that song. I got the news from Rural King. We wrote the song that night, and we were in the studio recording it the next day, and we had it done in I think 6 or 7 days, sent out to Rural King. So, and then there's other songs that have taken us 2 or 3 months just because we've had 2 or 3
Wow.
months to kind of work on it and take our time. So, as much like
Wow.
songwriting, it's different every
It's a
time.
process.
That's why it's an addiction.
It's a good one though.
Oh, it is. It is. Yeah, it's the best addiction out there. I'm convinced.
True story. And talking about releases, like how do you know to release? Okay, this is going to be my next song. Like, what are the factors that you look for in a song for your next release? Like, how do you know that?
That's a really good question. You know, I trust my gut. I do. I think
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't want to oversaturate the fans with too much of the same. I don't want to do
True.
too much of the same. And if there's a song out there that's kind of against the grain, I got a song right now that I wrote it with I came home. It's funny. This was a big mess up on my end. I started writing it with a couple friends of mine, and then it was a quick write, and I came home and I wrote the rest of it. So now we're gonna go back there and kind of rewrite it a little bit. But it's called "Hey Sweet Honey," and it's just got a cool, different vibe to it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's different. So like that song, it's not necessarily one that say country radio would love, but it's one that I love, and I think it's one that my fans will love. So there's a high chance that might end up somewhere. So I don't know. I just kind of trust my gut, and I always feel like if I really vibe to it and it gets me feeling a
Mm-hmm.
certain
Mm-hmm.
way, uh, that's a good place to start. You know,
That's
and
awesome.
and that's kind of how I go about it. Is that right there? Not too much
That's
hidden, really.
amazing. That's amazing. And do you have like any release day ritual? Like, what do you do on a release day?
On a release day, I mean, I like to do something. I like to keep it, something busy. I'll do a release show in
Mm-hmm.
Nashville, maybe. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times they'll drop on weekends. because Fridays are kind of the standard. So I kind of like to just put mine in the mix. So a lot of times we're actually out on the road, which works out really good because we can kind of, say, hey, come on out so and so to
Promote that.
celebrate the
Mm-hmm.
song. So it's kind of a built-in release party. But yeah, 9 times out of 10, we've been out on the road. We were down in Florida when Comes Out Small Town came out, as a matter of fact. So
Wow,
yep, yep, it's
that's
fun.
amazing. That's awesome. And talking about being on road, you've opened for a couple of big names, Bill Anderson, Tanya Tucker, just to name a few. So how did that begin, and how was that whole experience for you?
Yeah, so those actually took place. I think so I've actually lived in Nashville twice at this point. I moved here right after high
Mm-hmm.
school, and then I, like, for a couple of
Wow.
months, then moved home, and then moved here 3 years ago and stayed. And but Bill, I think I may have been living in Nashville with the Tanya Tucker show. I don't think I was for Bill Anderson, but no,
Mm-hmm.
just super cool opportunities. Tanya was in Greenup, Illinois, and Bill was in Windsor, Illinois, not far from my hometown, and was just a really cool experience as a young kid to get to play on a stage like that in front of
Mm-hmm.
bigger crowds, and yeah, that's really it. It was super big blessing. Bill was awesome. Tanya was awesome. Her whole crew is great, and you asked earlier about like songwriting. Was there a moment that
Mm-hmm.
defined that for you? And
Mm-hmm.
like the Bill Anderson show and the Tandy Tucker show and the Kankakee Barbecue Festival being on that lineup, like early on was kind of like how that was on the artist side for me. It just kind of showed me what it was like on a very, very professional level. And so
Okay.
those shows are real cool to kind of just get that fire under my ass early on to want to do it on a very high scale, very clean, sleek, nice scale, and so that's what we're shooting for every time we go out, just to keep raising that bar in that direction.
I
So
have no doubt you'll be there one day.
thank you, I appreciate that.
Of course. And what's your favorite venue that you performed at?
Oh man, that's another good one. We've played a few. Mm. I'm trying to think back to everywhere we've played. I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave anyone out or anything. I tell you what, I don't really have a favorite venue, to be honest with you. I don't. I will say that like Muddy's Saloon back home, they've always been good to us. Actually, I will. I see. This is what I'm saying. I had to remember all the shows we did last year we did a show at U of I, University of Illinois, and it was at the Memorial Stadium there on campus, and that is
Wow.
where that's Illinois' biggest university. That's the Mecca. Go Illini. And we played on the field for the college students during COVID, and it was such a cool experience. I went there as a young kid to watch my cousin Taylor play in state football. I've seen that stadium packed out, and it was just really cool because in that time I was doing music and I was looking down on the field. Like when I look down on a football field, I see football, but I also see like
Uh-huh.
that's where the stage would go. That's
True.
I dream about it,
Picture it.
and
Mm-hmm.
and that was going on during that football game. So to get the chance to even go back there on a smaller scale like we did to play for the students, and it was a great production, great setup. That was really cool. That was a really cool full circle moment, just because I was sound checking, looking up to like where I was sitting for those football games. I'm
Wow.
like, this
Oh
is
my God.
like I growing up, people are always like, "You're gonna regret not playing football. You're gonna regret not playing football." And I was thinking, that would be really cool to go to state and play on the U of I field. Well, I never got that chance, but it was also very cool to come back and look up there and think, I'm not playing football, but I'm playing music, and that's what I was shooting for all through high school. So that was a really cool full circle moment to go back there. Definitely one that I'll never forget.
That's amazing. That like gave me goosebumps while I was listening to your story.
Yeah, it was. That's
That's
that's that's
awesome.
how it felt on stage too. I was just like, wow, this
I'm
is
sure.
a treat.
I'm sure. And what's your bucket list venue to perform at?
All of them. I want to play all of them. But no, I mean, there's definitely Bridgestone in Nashville, Madison Square, New York. Or no, I don't know if that's New York. I'm out of brain fart, Boston, wherever. But Madison Square, and like KFC Yum Center's on my bucket list now. Me and my girlfriend Kelly went there and saw Thomas Rhett not last year,
Wow.
2019 probably now. But like that was just so cool. Like I can't wait to go back to these places where Holman Center and Terre Haute's definitely a bucket list. That's like my hometown arena show is kind of what it would be. So Holman Center and I can't wait to go back to the places that like I bought big ticket items hopefully someday.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
again, kind of like you have I to be able to look where I was and just to
Sure.
think, because that was the ultimate dream for me. And that I'm sitting there watching this concert, just dreaming. So it'd be cool to go back on the other side of the fence and be like, man, here we are. And I don't know. That would be really cool. So if I had to pick one though, the Holman Center in Terre Haute. That I can't wait to play that arena. That's gonna be a big one.
I'm gonna come and watch you.
Please do. I mean, to be honest, I might get emotional in that show because I saw Brett Eldridge there, Brantley. I mean, that is the hometown. If I wanted to go see someone big coming through town, it was Holman Center for me. I would go there. And it's also where my dad
That's
went. He saw
awesome.
all the concerts when he was my age.
Oh.
So it'd be cool to get him to come backstage and experience that as
Mm-hmm.
well. So that's the goal.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And what's your post-show ritual? Like, what do you do after a show?
Well, a lot of things we shouldn't. No. It's honestly some nights are pretty chill. I mean, me and my guitar player Charlie, we're
Mm-hmm.
night owls. Really, the whole band stays up and hangs. We'll have a few drinks, and I'll smoke a couple cigarettes if I'm being honest with you, and just kind of enjoy the night and reflect on the show and enjoy each other's company. We're a family out there. We try and keep
True.
it that way,
Mm-hmm.
and that family mentality is very important. So our time together, pre-show, post-show, and during the show, it's all very important to us. So we like to have a good time, but we also realize we got to get up probably at 7 a.m. the next morning too. So we'll push it to 3 a.m. and go to bed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that. Do you have like any funny fan encounter that you can share with us?
Oh man. Uh, I got to think back. I got to think back to all the shows here. Uh, I'll uh, I'll just say I've signed a few questionable things in my day. I can say that I've signed a few questionable things, and I'm just trying to think of one experience. I mean, There's been so many experiences that I've seen or witnessed. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people get up on bar stools and just plumb fall
Oh my
off.
Lord.
We've seen people get drug out of bars, and honestly, there's not one that pokes out to me that I can think of right now, but hit me back and hit me back someday, and I'm sure I could tell you a couple. But no, I mean, it gets crazy. It gets crazy out there. That's what's fun about it is alcohol is an amazing thing, and you never know. You never know what's going to happen. And sometimes it
True.
might be on our end. I mean, it's not always out there. Sometimes, Charlie's coming over and saying, "Hey, dude, we got a problem." And I'm thinking to myself, "Oh, shit." But no, it's fun. And it's fun to see people having a good time.
That's amazing. That's awesome. And I also want to talk to you about your whiskey jam. I saw a couple of days back you played the whiskey jam. How was that experience? Because whiskey jam show is in my bucket list. Like I really want to go to a Whiskey Jam show. So how was your experience with that?
Yeah, no, first off, if you love country music, you got to go to Whiskey Jam. Ward's
Whiskey Jam?
amazing. That was actually only our
Mm-hmm.
second show there, and
Okay.
it was awesome. I can't say enough. I was so hyped coming off that Whiskey Jam show. I called Dad. I just called Dad, and I was like, man, it was a blast. I mean, me and the boys felt good, and we got off stage and we had our drinks and we said, let's go to Red Door and celebrate. So that's what we did, and
Wow.
everybody ends up at Red Door, but. No, Ward's amazing. Winners was great, and just what a blessing to get the chance again to play that stage. It's definitely a staple here in town. It's it's been a staple in my career thus far. I've always wanted to play, so any time that I get the chance to play Whiskey Jam in any capacity is quite the treat. So very thankful to Ward and Winners and the guys and everybody for coming out and having a good time with us. Just very thankful for that.
I saw a couple of pics. I think Clayton Shea had uploaded, and you killed it. You have such an amazing stage presence, I must say.
Thank you. That means a lot. It does. And yeah, we have
Like
fun.
your energy is so contagious.
No, hey, that's what we want. I know when I get on stage, I don't want to worry about anything that happened
Mm-hmm.
in the week prior, So we get on stage and that's what we want to do. We don't want to waste any time getting the energy up, getting people having fun. We just want to be like, hey, forget about it and let's have some drinks.
I love that. I love that. And do you have any upcoming shows that you want people to know about?
Yeah, actually, next weekend, the band is hitting the road again, and it's been a long time coming. I think the last actual road date where we left Nashville, I think was last October, maybe September. So it's been a minute. But this next weekend, we got a private event and on May 28th, but then on the 29th, we're at Scooters Roadhouse in Shorewood, Illinois. The 30th, we're at Muddy's Saloon in Wheeler, Illinois. And Monday, we are in Fairbanks Park Amphitheater in Terre Haute, Indiana. And Mr. Clayton Shea will be with us on those, except for the Monday show. So it'll be really nice to
Awesome.
have Clayton open up acoustic for us. And that'll be a real treat. So looking forward to
That's
it.
amazing. That's awesome. If I was there, I would definitely make it to the show.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, hey, whenever you make it out, I'll get you a drink, all right? I'll buy you a beer.
Deal. We have a deal.
Awesome.
Okay. And can you explain for people like me, like who doesn't know like a lot about the music industry? Can you explain to us like how important a pre-save is for an artist?
You kind of cut out.
Pre-save, pre-ad,
Oh,
anything.
pre-saves and everything. That's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
No, pre-saves are definitely important, and I'm kind of new to them, to be honest with you. I have been. I'm not the best. I'm not the worst with computers, but I'm not the best with computers either. So, to be honest with you, Clayton Shade probably give you a straighter answer than I would. But I'll tell you this, coming from an artist,
Uh-huh.
pre-saves, I know everybody's always hammering the pre-save, and I know,
Mm-hmm.
but it truly does make a big difference. And like pre-orders, I know Clayton, I can't remember what song it was. I want to say it was either Girl Like You or Sign Another Man, maybe both of them, but they both charted on iTunes, and that came
Yeah.
from pre-orders. Because how it works is when you pre-save it, it like Spotify stores that. So when the day of the release comes, it adds the song to all these playlists at one time. It pushes it up in the algorithm quicker. So it's all algorithmic based. But yeah, every pre-save is huge. So if you love an artist and want to support an artist, doesn't cost you anything, just costs you 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Go pre-save their song. It's a big help.
Yeah, I wanted to ask that because I think it's very important for, especially independent artists like who don't have access to huge Spotify playlists or Apple playlists, like pre-save, pre-ad, like everything counts, right?
It absolutely does. Well, and that's what's been so cool for me with Mama Didn't Raise No, and it hitting a million
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube was we didn't really. That's all. It was all organic. It was all organic, no dollars,
Wow.
and so it's been really cool to see that. You know what I'm saying? See the organicness of it, and but you know, like you're saying with pre-saves and pre-ads, I think all that came into play with that too, and people saving the song, even
Mm-hmm.
post-release is just as big too. So
Mm-hmm.
anytime that can happen, that's a good thing.
Thank you for letting us know, and I will definitely be pre-saving your future releases.
Hey, appreciate it.
Of course, of course. And okay, so if you're not doing music or anything related to music, like what are you doing? How are you killing time?
I'm a pretty mellow guy. I like to cut loose and have my fun. Don't get me wrong, but
Mm-hmm.
I live with my girlfriend Kelly, so you know when I'm off the road, especially when we're on the road every week, 3, 4 days a week, I come home and I
Mm-hmm.
just kind of soak in my home time, get my work done. But I love fishing. I love hunting. Uh, you know, go up to Kentucky and do that a lot. Got some buddies up in Pennsylvania that I'm starting to hunt with more. And uh, like hunting's always one thing for me I've wanted to do more, and I've done it in the past. But this year I'm finally, you know, finding a little success at it, and it's been fun to learn
Mm-hmm.
and how to do it and become a better hunter. So I've really been grabbing hold of that. Picked up golf last year, so I like to golf. Me and Clayton actually might be going golfing this afternoon. I got to holler at him and see. But yeah, I like to just enjoy my time, and I'm a people person. I like to enjoy people and just keep up and hang out with friends and talk to them and also enjoy my alone time. If I'm being honest, I like my alone
Mm-hmm.
time.
True.
But
I love that. I love that. And do you have like any hidden talents that we don't know about?
oh geez, I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you. Define hidden talent. I guess. I mean, I could throw a bait caster, all right. No, I guess I can't really think of anything too against the grain talent wise. Again, I mean, I used to skateboard. I could probably I would if I picked up a skateboard and like you gave me a 2 or 3 days to like get my bearings with it again, I could probably still do majority of the things
Wow.
I could do. So I'd say if I had to pick one talent, it would because I feel like you look at me and you probably wouldn't think that I could skate, you know, because I don't know. I got a mullet and boots on half the time, you know.
Hey,
But
don't judge a book by its cover, right?
that's right. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would face plant very fast, and I would hurt learning how to do it again. But it would be pretty damn fun to get that out. I was actually home and I saw my skateboard in my mom's shed, and I halfway wanted to give it a go, but
Oh,
yeah,
damn.
I don't know. I got some great memories with that. And I got some real bad memories with that too.
Maybe
So,
you can skateboard like for your next music video or something.
jeez Louise, I'd have to get, make sure I got the hospital on speed dial before I even put one foot on that thing nowadays. So,
That'll be fun. I mean, not
yeah,
to see you fall, but you actually skateboarding on a music video.
yeah, it'd be like a baby deer learning to walk. You know, be like,
You never
dang,
know. You never know.
yeah, who knows? It might come right back. I might be a modern day Ryan Sheckler, Tony Hawk, ready to rock. Who knows?
You never know. I love that. I love that. And during the quarantine, like last year and all, did you like pick up any skill that you didn't know you had it in you?
Well, like golf, I picked up golf. It was like the back half of quarantine, like probably August-ish, September. I can't really remember, but I'm gonna guess then.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
Clayton was golfing. Everybody was golfing, and I used to go like Top Golf. I'd go and I enjoyed it, but I'd never played. But I said, piss on it. I'm gonna buy $130 pair of golf clubs, and I'm gonna go
Wow.
golfing, and I'm gonna have I said, there's a driving range like 10 minutes from my house. And I texted Clayton. I
Mm-hmm.
said, hey, will you come out here and just give me the basics on how to get where I can hit this ball straight, you know? And he was kind enough. He came out with me, Lord, I don't know how many times. And I was hooked. I was super hooked. I mean, golf is fun. It will piss you off and a lot, but it's also super relaxing. So that I was pretty glad I picked that up. I don't see that going anywhere ever.
That's amazing. I love that. And looking forward 5 years from now, where would you want to see yourself?
You know, I'm just gonna say stable. That's the only thing. You know, I wanna take my career as big as the good Lord will let me go. But
Mm-hmm.
if I'm being completely honest, at the end of the day, for me, you know, I want a happy wife. I want a happy kids. I want to enjoy life, and I just want to be able to do that. And if I can do that, then I'm happy. But as far, you know, hopefully we'll be on a bus. Hopefully we'll at least have one or two number ones at that point. Maybe some cuts as a songwriter. Uh, you know, if I'm sitting there, then I'm going to consider it good. I'm going to consider it pretty good. And I
Mm-hmm.
figure I got, what do you got, 60, 70, 80 plus years on this life or on this earth. So I figure that's enough time to keep writing songs and keep singing. So if I can
True.
just keep growing and just keep aiming towards stability and happiness, then I'm happy and I'm good. I'm a simple
I
guy.
love.
I could live in the middle of a cornfield and be completely okay with that. I don't require too much, but you know,
Me too.
I'll say I'm more driven with music than I've ever been. I'm
Mm-hmm.
having a blast with it, and the fans seem like they're enjoying it, which I'm super thankful for. So if we can just stay on that trend, then we're good.
I love that. I love that. And before I let you go, I always end my life with this question. So, what's the best advice you ever received?
Whoa, best advice I've ever received. Um, You know, my grandma Helen and me are really close, and
Mm-hmm.
my dad lived with her for a minute when my parents were getting divorced, and I lived with them for a little bit. Whenever my parents were getting divorced, I moved in with grandma and dad for a bit, and
Mm-hmm.
in that time, I got to really know my grandma, and we had a lot of conversations. And she never judged, but she and sometimes she wouldn't even talk. Lot of times she just listened. But one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that she would constantly tell me was, or just remind me, was that 90% of the things we worry about in life are little things, and they're little tiny, and they don't matter, and we get heartbroken and stressed and anxious over them when they don't mean anything. And on top of that, not only do they not matter, they're out of our control completely, and we have no control. Like that's just
That's so true.
like 5-year plan, you know, happiness and stability. The rest, I don't know. That's up to him.
That is so true.
And so I think just don't worry about the little things. Just worry about what you can control. Worry about what matters, because at the end of the day, we're all going 6 feet deep, and we can't take it with us. So that's what I have
That
to say.
is so true. I love that. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. And
Absolutely.
it was awesome getting to know you and chatting with you, Garrett. I'll definitely have you back on when you release your EP.
Thank
Can't
you.
wait for that. And would you want to add anything I might have missed out?
Yeah, no, first off, thanks a ton for having me and for being so patient schedule wise for doing this. I really do appreciate it. But no, got a lot of new stuff coming this year, everybody. New videos, new music. Actually got new merch up on the website right now.
Wow.
New tours, just a whole bunch of things, a new record. So be sure to follow along with me. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Garrett Biggs Music. YouTube, subscribe, go watch the Mama video. We got a bunch of new content coming on there as well. And
Mhm.
yeah, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, check out all the stuff. Follow, like, share it, all that. And I just appreciate all the support. And I hope you guys enjoy what we have coming this year.
For sure. And thank you so much, Garrett. You have a wonderful day and
Thank you.
happy journey. Have fun on your vacation.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And you have a good one as well. Don't work too hard.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so that was Garrett Biggs, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in and for all your lovely comments. Hi, Stacy. Thank you so much. And I'll be back with more interviews. Follow me if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much.